All drives our hearts. Data plays its part. Value bets we seek with Joe from OddAlerts.com.
Welcome back, football fans, to another previews and predictions video. Here is what's coming up on this episode. We start in Serie in Brazil, where a team that's won every single home game is looking to keep that run going, decent odds, and they're playing a team that has not won away from home as of yet. From Brazil to Egypt, and a very, very tasty fixture at the top of the table there. We've got a team with 3 games in hand on second place and 5 points behind. So this game that they're playing, first against second, is absolutely pivotal. And then we're going back to South America. Just couldn't get enough, could we? There are some enticing odds there for another home team, an unbeaten home team, and they're playing against a side that has won less than 30% of their games. I'm also going to show you the top games around the footballing world for over 2.5 goals for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. This video is going out on Monday, but if you're watching it on Tuesday or Wednesday, don't worry, there is still plenty of value for you. We're also going to put together, because somebody asked about it in the comments, a filter on Quick Filters looking for over 8.5 corners. I shared a graphic on X yesterday that people liked, so I thought I would just show you how I find those kind of games. And that one I will do off the cuff, because I want to get your thoughts in the comments and your opinions on what sort of data you would put into a quick filter to look at teams that have high corner counts. So we've got all that to come, and without further ado, let's get into it. So we start this previews and predictions video in Brazil. Cruzeiro versus Juventude. Any Portuguese folk in the comments, let me know. Portuguese speaking folk, sorry, any Brazilians or Portuguese speaking folk in the comments, let me know if I am saying that wrong, or just let me know how wrong I'm saying it, because I'm sure I am. They've won every single game at home, and Juventude have, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. They've won none, basically, away from home. But what's interesting, we can see their home form. What is interesting about this game is their away form is drastically different to their home form. Let's have a look at their home form. They're unbeaten at home. So there's a serious difference between playing in front of their own fans and their away fans, because away from home they are winless, and they have conceded 2 or more in the last 4 games. They've conceded in every single game played. 2-2, 3-2, 1-5, 1. BTTS landing in quite a few of those games. That's quite interesting to note. But Cruzeiro have only conceded more than once in 1 game, and that was the opening home game that they played. If we jump to the odds comparison, we can see 1.56 is the best you're going to get at the moment, but it is as low as 1.44 with Betfair. So it just shows you the confidence that the bookies do have in Cruzeiro to get another home victory and make it 8 out of 8. What are you thinking for this game? Remember, every comment on these preview and predictions videos is automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro. And with that said, here is the winner from the previous video. Well done to you. I have been in touch already, and get back to me, because we'll get you set up as soon as possible. If you're looking at the halftime victory as well for this team, they have won in 71% of games at home by halftime. They've never been losing in any of those 7 home games. And for Juventude, they have scored just 1 first half goal away from home this season. Now, despite winning 71% of games, Cruzeiro actually score more goals in the second half, as we can see there. 7 versus 10, so they're still scoring quite a lot in the first half, 1 per game. And if you wanted to just check the actual results at halftime, you can do that by checking out those home games again. So you can see they've won the last 5 at home. So they are doing pretty well at home, starting quickly, getting that goal, getting in front, and staying in front. So from Brazil to Egypt, let's go. So I actually found this game when looking at the points per game trends page, because I saw both of these teams, and I was like, oh, they must be playing each other. And they are. It's first against second in Egypt. Ahly, they have been involved in the Club World Cup, I think, and maybe the AFC Champions League as well, because they've got 3 games in hand, as you can see there, 28 versus 25. But there's some interesting dynamics at play in this game. First, I'll show you the table, which is going to be the wrong way around because of this being sorted by average. I will change that. I mention it on every video, don't I, that I show the tables. it's sorting by the average points, or I can maybe change this to average points and then have total points or something like that. Very easy fix. I've just not got around to it. So Pyramids FC are top, despite what this says, because they've got 68 points. There is a 5-point difference, but Ahly have games in hand on them. They have 3 games in hand, so potential to obviously get 9 points back. But this is a massive game for them in the title race. If we look at the recent results as well, adding a little bit more spice to this, is the fact that the previous game for Pyramids was a defeat to their opponents today, Ahly. That was on the 12th, whilst Ahly has played a game since. I would imagine another game in hand, given that they were playing across other competitions and have to come back. But just look at the form here for them. And what enticed me to this one was the odds. So whichever way you think this one might go, the odds are pretty decent. And you can take a look at the stats. I just wanted to sort of show you this game because it's 2 fantastic teams. If we look at Pyramids FC, look at their form as well. It's kind of crazy. And what usually happens when these two teams meet, or when teams of this caliber meet, is you probably get a bit of a tight affair, because especially for Pyramids FC, they just don't want to lose, do they? They just don't want to give any points away to Ahly, who also have those games in hands. But you can see their average goals in the away games for Ahly, 3, and 2.79 at home for Pyramids FC. Pyramids slightly better at home defensively. So the head-to-head looks like this. Ahly with a 3-2 victory, a 3-0 victory for Pyramids. So the last couple of games ending in home victories. Only 1 away win in recent history. 2 away wins since February 2020. And 2020, February, that was just when COVID was breaking out, wasn't it? But certainly, in the COVID era, when there was no fans, that's when the away wins popped up. But a lot of home wins, or certainly not too many away victories in recent times. But Ahly at the moment, we'll just take one final look at those results. Away from home especially. So what do you think about this game? In the comments, let us all know. And BTTS 1.86 with the probability model as implied odds. So I'm going to save that as my prediction, 1.86. It's a good points return, I think, for this game, and a game that could be opened up by Ahly trying to take the initiative and get an early goal. So that was Egypt. Now we're going to go back to South America, back to Brazil. See you there. Welcome back to Brazil, and this game is taking place at midnight on Wednesday. So if you're watching this on Tuesday, still pretty relevant to you, or Monday, anytime before the game kicks off, to be honest. But we'll start here with the probability model, because you can see implied odds of just over evens. They are still favourites with the model, but certainly if you look at the odds around town, I think they've actually increased the odds recently. 1.91 is the sort of peak that you will get at the moment. The lowest is 1.8, and we can see when we take a look at the form, 86% of games have been won at home by Mirassol and Avai. They have won less than 30% of games, 29% of games. They've drawn a considerable amount of those games as well, but still, as with the previous Brazilian game, just 7 played away from home. So always bear that in mind. Everyone has a different threshold in terms of sample size, in terms of games played. And we can see by Mirassol's form, maybe this is why the model is not giving them as good a chance as some of the bookmakers, because of that recent form, because of those 3 games there in June where they failed to score successively. They did bounce back from that with a couple of wins and a defeat where they still scored twice. If we look at the home form, though, as we mentioned, they are unbeaten and they have not conceded in the last 5 games. Pretty good going for them. 5 out of 7 clean sheets. And for Avai, away from home, and they've won a couple of games there. The thing that stands out to me, other than the results, of course, is that they've scored more than once in just 1 game. I could see this being a potential 1-1, tight, edgy affair. This is possibly, if the odds were a bit more in line with the probability model, this is potentially, I'm going to go for a draw, just whilst I ramble about that. This is probably where I would go double chance and over 1.5 goals, or draw no bet and over 1.5 goals. So you can see the odds have risen there. When I sort of planned this video, at the weekend, I was looking at the probability model, and there was quite a bit of a discrepancy, 1.67 to 2.34 on the model, and it's now risen to 1.87. Who knows what it will be on the 24th at midnight. So again, with these videos, what I want to sort of get across, or just show you what I do, and maybe you can take it on board, is look, a few days ahead for your games. Don't be someone that just is dictated by the bookies. They go onto the bookies to find their games. That's the worst thing you can do in the world, because they'll just show you in-play games or games starting in the next 2 minutes or whatever. But if you are disciplined and you've got a sensible approach and you're doing what we're doing now, putting strategies together, looking at different markets, exploring them, you will be more successful. I guarantee it. And not just that, you get better odds, and you are more confident in the odds that you get if you get on these games early enough. So for this next section, we are going to take a look at the best games for over 2.5 goals. We're going to use quick filters. So let's go and do that. And I will link these in the description as well. And this is how you can do it. We're going to say played 5 or more games. We don't want, leagues that are just getting underway or anything like that. And we're going to lean on the probability model. And what we can do is say, show me games where the probability is 50% or more, just to eliminate games that are not likely. And then we will sort. In fact, let's go 60%. And then we will hit search. And what we are going to do is click next 5 days. And that's it. We now have a ordered list of games based on the probability model, showing us games ranked by highest to lowest that are also filtered, only showing games with 60% or more. So if we click the probability here, we can see that the top game here is 83% implied odds of 1.2. So I'm going to go through some of these games now, and I'm going to try and do some quick fire editing, and just hopefully you get some nice data points and stuff and some games. But as I say, this shortlist will be linked in the description. So the top game comes from Iceland. Let's set an alert. Let me know if it is 1.6. From Singapore on Monday, 12:45, lunchtime game. Only 8 games played here, but of course, Home United won 75% of those. And in terms of the goal difference, -10 already for Young Lions. And in terms of goals scored, 3 per game for Home United, 2.88 for Young Lions. This one could be an away win and goals. It was only a matter of time before we got a game from Iceland. This one is Monday evening. FH against IA. Average goals per game, 3.57 at home for FH and 3.29 for IA. Let's do a fixture prediction for this one, shall we? A simulation. You can see the odds with the model, 1.44 implied odds. So I'll also set an alert with this one. It is a 2-1 home victory that has been suggested by the AI fixture simulation. Wednesday morning from Australia, and one that might make it onto your potential doubles. Eadsworth Eagles reserves against New Lambton reserves. And we can take a look at the model's output here for over 2.5 goals at 67%. Remember, we were filtering for 60%, weren't we? And we can take a quick look at the goals here. Overall form, 1.75 goals per game for the away team. I think it's pretty close, home or away, isn't it? Not too much between them, but the home team conceding 2.38 goals per game. It is 8th against 7th, so not too much in it. But as we see with most of these games, no nil-nils this season. BTTS landing in 75% of all games, so an alert for BTTS might be worthwhile. Let me know if this hits 1.8, and we'll go and find BTTS. Let me know if that hits 1.6 as well, and I will investigate both of those games. Plenty more games in that list that I did not cover. You can find them all in the description or the pinned comment. Just go and have a look down there. And whilst you're there, hit like, subscribe, and give us a comment. Any comment is automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro. Are you enjoying the videos? Are you enjoying the format, the new format potentially of these videos? Because I'm trying to create segments. The next segment, with that said, before I start rambling, is a corner filter. This is going to be a quick filter, off the cuff. I want to get your comments, your feedback. What would you add into this filter that I'm about to make? So this filter is going to be for over 8.5 corners. We shared some great games yesterday on Twitter, and that's what gave me the idea. So you can see the corner stats here coming now. So the first thing we will add is the occurrences. And let's say, do we want to say last 10, last 5, last 6, or all games? let's say in the last 6 games for both teams, let's go 100%, and we can save that for both teams. And then what I like to do is just hit search and see what kind of games you get back. So for Monday, we're only getting 1 game, which is the Icelandic game tonight, the rivalry. And there you go. You can see that there's not many games when you just set the parameters so high. So it's good to do that and click search and hit search before you actually dig deeper into all of the other data points. So let's take this off for a second. And you can explore these 2 teams. I'm going to favorite them so I remember where they're from. And let's have a look again. I was thinking about this before, and actually, I don't know why, but I think maybe I would like some games that don't have that many goals in the first half. Or you could go the other way and you could be like, well, a home team that just loves to score, they're going to have a lot of corners potentially. Let's do that. Let's look at a home team, shall we? So if we're looking at corners, we can say over 4.5 corners for, and we're looking at the home team, all games, 70% of their games or more, and we know that they've played 10 or more games, so that's going to be 5 home games, but we'll check it out. We can sort by that value as well. And now we get a few more teams. This is for the next 5 days as well. Sorry. So we've got Tuesday here. And what I would do is go into a game, and we can see the Brazilian game there as well. So now that we've seen games that we know are good for one thing, they're popping up on other filters as well. It adds potential for bet builders, doesn't it? We can go into the corners tab, and then you can just take a look and see what you feel. So the away team here has seen 9 or more corners in every away game that they've played, and the home team, it is 86%. Now, they've only played 14 total, and you can check out the totals as well. So 8.5, it drops to 86%. For the home team, it is 64%. But at home, that's what we were filtering for, weren't we? Corners received. So they are averaging 8.43 corners per game at home. So there is the stat that we were filtering for directly on this filter. So you've got all the occurrences for and against here, 71% in terms of corners against 4 or more. So it's all here. It's all the data that you need is here, and all of these that you see are all filterable as well. An interesting stat that stands out there is first half corners against 100% for IA and 71% as well for 2 or more corners against. And we know that FH loves to get corners at home, so it could be a potential option there as well. That is how I would start putting a corner filter together, and you can see that it's a nice shortlist here for you to explore. And it's based on a single rule, but you then enter the game knowing the market. I think that's so important to have context to the filter that you're looking for. And whilst there is so many different combinations that you can add in, I mean, dangerous attacks here at the bottom. Shots on target is an interesting one, because a shot on target can obviously be parried for a corner. If you wanted to just do shots, we could say shots for, on average, at home, and we could just save that and then sort that, and then we could remove that if you just wanted to, check out these home games, the home teams. And then we get another game that we've already checked out, Pyramids, and then we get another game in Brazil here. Corner markets available, as you know, by this flag icon. So you've got the card market icon, the flag icon, and then the bolt there is the probability model. Just because people have asked before, the number here as well is the number of markets available on Bet365. So the number of online markets, which is a good indicator before you even jump into the game of what is, what is sort of going to be offered by Bet365. So 105 looks like there's going to be player prop markets in there with that number of markets available, and I know for sure that there is player cards and stuff like that. So we are ranking it, aren't we? And now we go back into that Pyramids game, because actually 16.86 shots they are taking per game, and Ahly 13.32 as well. All the data that you need to make an informed decision is here. So that is a very, very brief and very sort of off the cuff and raw look into how to create a filter for corners. I'll just show you another way you can find games for this market, or the potential markets. We've got first half corners on the trends page. We've got over 8 corners on the trends page as well. You can click on that, and then you can see all of the home teams So how many times has this come in? How many times has there been over 8 corners in their games? And we can see Cruzeiro again, that Wednesday game at midnight. And then when you click on it, you get relevant stats within the trends section. And then you can click into the full fixture. You can set an alert. You know what? Tell me when this hits 1.6 in play. My keyboard battery is gone. 1.6. There we go. And that's it. It's done. I'll get an alert. 1.67 here for a team that's seen it in 9 out of 10 games. Tuesday, they're playing. And the away team 7.6, so just below what we are looking for. And that'd be one that you just take a deeper look into. Shanghai Shenhua, an away team, they averaged 12.33 corners. We had a good game on X yesterday that was shared from China. That was a very, very nice game indeed. Hopefully some of you got on that. If you're not following us on X, join us. And same goes for the Telegram Digest as well. Now, I want you in the comments, just before we do one more thing, I feel like Steve Jobs or Tim Cook, we got one more thing. I want you to add a comment with the market that you want us to cover next. You want me to cover next on the next video. In the same way that I have now with the quick filter where we just discuss it, talk about it. And the options are first half goals, first half corners, or BTTS. So you've got 3 options there. First half corners, first half goals, or BTTS. Which would you like me to cover in the next video? I will look at all the comments and I will, whichever one has been, posted the most or stands out the most as just being, wow, people really want that, I will do it. And with that, I go now to a comment from somebody, PlayerCam HD. He asked what data on OddAlerts can be used for first half goals. He's curious about putting some filters together. So let me just jump to, I could start with the trends page because we have a first half goals trends page, which you can see there is quite a few 100% records here, 10 out of 10 for this game here in Korea. And again, once you click into the game, you can see the relevant data. You can set an alert instantly on this. We could say, let me know when it hits 1.8, and that's done. But for alerts, for filters, I would just do the same thing. We do have the probability model for first half goals, but in terms of stats, which is what he asked for, you can actually just look at the amount of times a team has won at half time, drawn at half time. Drawn at half time, we can save that, add it as 20% or less for both teams, which, again, will we get games? No. Next 5 days, we get 2. So then you can just take a look at those 2 games. That's how you can really quickly see the outliers. But if you want a more consistent filter that gives you maybe 5-6 games a day that you can then start tracking and seeing how it performs. One thing we do have now is the probability model for home win at halftime, draw at halftime, and away win at halftime. So what you could do is filter on this and say, show me games where the percentage is low for draw at halftime, and we will hit search again. Again, no games. It's quite a low value. That let's go 33%. And then you get some games. So you just got to test around with the parameters and the filters. And obviously at the moment, we're not in a time with so many games. When the European leagues get started, you might get a list of games for 25%. And I'm sure at some points in the season you will. And you can see there's a lot of Australian games being played. I tell you what, if you're in the comments, PlayerCam HD, I will share this shortlist with you in the description or comments. I don't know, whatever. So with that, let's go to the outro. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been informative, educational, potentially. If you've got any questions or feedback about OddAlerts, just let me know in the comments. As you see in the previous comments on videos, I reply to every comment and I read every comment. So I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Football drives our hearts. Data plays its part. Value bets we seek with Joe from OddAlerts.com. Come along for the ride, where stats and passion collide. Find the edge inside with Joe from OddAlerts.com. When just a game. Joe's the one to take the fame. Value bets ignite the flame at OddAlerts.com. Football drives our hearts. Data plays its part. Value bets we seek with Joe from OddAlerts.com. Come along for the ride, where stats and passion collide. Find the edge inside with Joe from OddAlerts.com. Winning more than just a game. Joe's the one to take the fame. Value bets ignite the flame at OddAlerts.com. Come along for the ride, where stats and passion collide. Find the edge inside with Joe from OddAlerts.com.